and secure home here, where their message can ring out loud and clear, unencumbered, free from sponsorship overreach. Drop us a line via our email, support@revolution.radio, or head into our Discord server to say hello. We'll take everything from there. Revolution Radio, where hosting dreams become actualized reality.
Transcending time and space, let us take you to the place inside your mind where thoughts divide and mysteries unwind. Join us every Monday evening right here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And you will catch the Fenton Perspective with our great host, Lorian Fenton. Come listen in as she shares her amazing stories from the past to present, along with all of her guest secrets to the future. That's the Fenton Perspective every Monday evening right here from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Revolution Radio. Oh, and you don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Mountain High Time, 2 hours of an organization to the madness, discussing the ever-changing dynamics of being both physically and mentally prepared for a plethora of possible outcomes to our future and present. A look into the latest technologies, new scientific discoveries, and how they might be used in connection to the human domain and controlling it, ancient cultures and places. Be warned. This is an opinionated look through headlines, guests that are not afraid to question the narrative, a little bit of crazy ramblings of a stoner conspiracy factist that pushes constitutional concepts. The place and the time are the same, another dimension we call Mountain High Time. Saturdays 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain High Time, right here on Revolution.radio, where information never sleeps and truth breaks the spell.
Tune in to the Family Industrial Complex podcast here on Revolution Radio, Studio B, every Wednesday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Get fit, empowered, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Revolution Radio, where truth breaks the spell and information never sleeps.
Tune into Revolution Radio, where truth breaks the spell and information never sleeps. Never sleeps. Tune into Revolution Radio, where truth breaks the spell and information never sleeps. Never sleeps. Never sleeps. Tune into Revolution Radio.
Let me get on the right place there. All right, everyone. Welcome to the New American Dream radio show, streaming live on Revolution Radio. And and also on our YouTube channel, the New American Dream Radio Show YouTube channel. All right. We have a new American dream, not of uh, new homes, toasters, microwaves, but of becoming the type of country we always thought we were. A country where people help each other, people talk to each other and listen to each other. They don't become estranged because they don't agree on everything. They try to find ways that they do agree. That's our new American dream where people love each other. And today is a special day. It's Thanksgiving, and we're giving thanks for everything. Well, for all of the people, uh, and for the blessings that we all have. Even though sometimes we may not quite realize, how wonderful things are for us, but there's a lot of people who have a lot more problems than we do, and no matter what we may think, and how we may hate what might be going around along in our backyard, we're still pretty darn lucky to be here. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Our first guest tonight is Rex Butters, and we're very happy to have Rex join us from. He's on the west coast of the United States, and tonight I'm on the west coast of Florida for the 163rd Jackson Mott Clark family reunion at Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the longest tradition in the country, and we're very fortunate to have this thing going on, where we've got people joining us from as far away as Oregon, and I'm just right across the other side of Florida this time, so I didn't have to travel too far this time. But we're spread out all over, and it's a wonderful tradition. Right now, we're reading the letters from people who were unable to attend, and they share what's going on in their lives, and it helps this whole family stay connected. And I just really feel lucky to be part of that. So you may hear an occasional applause. I don't know if you can hear that, but they must have just finished reading another letter downstairs. So Rex, after all that,
Hey,
welcome
Chuck.
to the show. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
You too. So, was there like a traditional meal there waiting for you?
Well, we did have a very good meal. We used to sometimes do it. People would cook. And, it's a lot of work for a host family to cook
Oh,
like
sure.
4 turkeys and all that. Uh, so usually of late we end up at a hotel or something. This
Oh,
year we were at a Hilton here in Naples, Florida,
oh, wow.
and it was just delicious. The
Oh,
turkey
good.
was really good, and there was a prime rib
Oh, wow.
that was with the guy there carving it for you.
Oh,
Oh man, it was so good.
good, good, good.
Yeah.
Kind of apropos to what you were saying just a minute ago. Remember Henry David Thoreau?
Yes, absolutely.
This is from a letter he wrote. This was posted by Poetic Outlaws today. This is from a letter Thoreau wrote talking about Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for what I am and have. My Thanksgiving is perpetual. It is surprising how contented one can be with nothing definite, only a sense of existence. Well, anything for variety. I'm ready to try this for the next 10,000 years and exhaust it. How sweet to think of. My extremities well charred, my intellectual part too. So there is no danger of worm or rot for a long while. My breath is sweet to me. Oh, how I laugh when I think of my vague, indefinite riches. No run on my bank can drain it, for my wealth is not possession, but enjoyment.
Mm. Wow. That's powerful.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, very nice. Indeed. Thanks, Rex.
Well, it's a lot of what you were just saying before I came on.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, I was in Boulder, Colorado for a while back in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
And I was at a little arts college in Boulder called Naropa. And it was an interesting place. They had interesting people passing through there. Kind of a wild place. And I lived in a old two-story house about half a block away.
Mm-hmm.
We had like 4 or 5 people living there, but the doors weren't locked, so we had a lot of different people living there. It could be a lot of fun. It was very different all the time. But then as it happened, this is what it looked like one Thanksgiving night. This is called No Turkey, No Sauce.
Boo.
Chilly, cloudy, moody Thanksgiving night. Everybody's gone to parties, dinners, feasts. A rare night in the house by myself. Quiet. Sit reading at the clean, odd, lamp-lighted kitchen table. Irritating ancient green and orange wallpaper. November night in Boulder. Chaos turned calm. La Casa Verde, old rundown and decorated all hours round the clock way station for weird and wonderful. On Arapahoe near Naropa. The 2-story house had a reputation when I moved into the pantry. A tiny desperation rental off the kitchen, minimally modified. I loved at first sight. A perfect monk's cell for chanting, reading, writing, and claustrophobic sleep. 4 white guy roommates, their girlfriends, and entourages. Circulate, scene change, flow, in and out the always unlocked doors. But tonight, not tonight. Tonight, I listen to a dead poet, friend, spin lines on an old alehouse chair, warmed by a wood-burning stove's fire lacking in this drafty old house. Cozy late 60s East Village, New York evening, interrupted, yanked back by front door creak and screen door slam. They emerge from the dark hall, murkily unlit living room, kitchen door bundled. Peter Orlovsky and Allen Ginsberg, smiling. Ginsberg eye darts around the room collecting images, and after appropriate greetings says, "Where's the party? We heard this was the place to go." A lot of the time, some nights, usually, I reply. Peter brings long gray mane dignity to the bright yellow Formica tabletop, examines the book. "Hey, Alan, look, it's Blackburn. He's reading Paul Blackburn. And look, he's at McSorley's, and it's signed." Peter smiles a fondly reflective smile, gazes at the cover of In, On, or About the Premises. A quiet evening at home with an introverted bookworm, clearly not the action Alan craved this festive holiday night. Well, good. Thanks. We'll come back again. We have other stops to make. He says, awkwardly backing out the door. A smile and a wave from Orlovsky. Door creak, screen slam. I turn back to Blackburn, who smiles, shrugs, continues his take on McKinley's assassination. Sawdust at our feet. Fire, sap, pop, log.
Wow. Ha! Very, very nice. Wow. Oh, you dropped a lot of names in there.
Only two. Only two. I could have changed their
Yeah.
names, but you know.
Yeah, really. That what must have been a fascinating time.
Well, yeah, I mean, the people who were passing through there. Ginsburg was the head of the program, and he kind of provided jobs for a lot of his friends so that they could show up and stay there for a few weeks and teach a seminar and move on to whatever else. Actually, I had gone there. Do you know an old LA trumpet player named Don Cherry?
I don't know.
He played with the classic Ornette Coleman Quartet.
Oh, wow!
And
what
years
was this? What year was this? More or less.
That would have been in the like the late 50s, 60s.
Okay, not early 70s.
Well, I mean, he was around then, but I don't think he didn't play.
I saw Ornette Coleman at Wesleyan when I was there, and I'm just wondering if I saw.
Probably not, but great player, legendary player, had a great solo career, played with Coltrane, played with Sonny Rollins, played with everybody. Very creative, very really reshaped the instrument. And in the early Naropa pamphlets, he was shown teaching classes. And so that kind of sold me on Naropa. And they said, because it was interdepartmental stuff, and I thought, I could work with Don Cherry? So, sign me up. And I went out there, and it turned out he hadn't taught there in years. They just used his picture in the portfolio.
Yeah, well, when I was at Wesleyan, John McLaughlin was there studying ethnomusicology.
Yeah, they played Don Cherry.
He was never around seeing, although he did do 2 concerts while I was there, which was great. The Mahavishnu Orchestra with Jan Hammer, Billy Cobham. Oh,
sure. Sure. Very lucky. Nice.
Indeed.
So this is a little more about Naropa. This is called Former Beats and Future Shrinks. 31. Poetry mad and maddened. I quit the comfy, soul-killing strip mall retail job and drove to Colorado, enrolled in Beat University. They all showed up. I got a good look and an earful, but my brochure showed woven, colorful, textile-clad Don Cherry, pocket trumpet ohm, cross-leg class, and described interdepartmental collaboration. I thought we'd work together, but he'd left years before I got there. And the dancers feared the poets. The musicians evaporated, and only the psych students wanted to talk, counsel our crazy away. Just former beats and future shrinks, the unexpected muted trumpet blowing Buddhist chants, and Starfire moved on, and Boulder seemed much colder without him.
Wow. Very nice, Rex.
Well, thank you, Chuck. One of my favorite Thanksgivings were in San Francisco when I was working for a restaurant called Susie Kate's. this experienced restaurant guy had a book of his grandmother's recipe. She was Susie Kate. And so
Okay.
he created this American country cooking, with modern upgrades on the recipes.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It was just an amazing place. And then every year we would do an all-out traditional American country Thanksgiving. And you needed reservations, of course. And, all the regulars would come in, and they were just beautiful year after year, just wonderful, wonderful holidays. You just felt kind of privileged to share with everybody's families stuff in the room. But then, unfortunately, it burned down.
Oh.
This is called Susie Kate's. It was dark as rotten fruit. Black, slimy water, 2 inches deep on the kitchen floor. Mirrors cracked that had survived earthquakes. Toilets exploded. White porcelain heat bombs, views replaced walls. Picture windows smashed. Brass doors torn off, cast down like bent dominoes. Tables and chairs knocked senseless. Wall-hung heirlooms, smoke cured, yellowed like jaundice, browned like smog, blackened like minstrels. Light blonde pine walls smudged dark. Light blonde man, heart darkened. Staggered through morning after fire wreckage. Echoes of birthdays and bar parties, Southern hospitality silenced in flame. Thanksgiving feasts and holiday light drowned by fire hoses. His eyes swam looking for the luck. His nose filled with the smoke of his dream.
Wow. Huh. Really, really good.
Thank you, Chuck.
I'm so lucky to have you sharing these on the show. I really appreciate that. It's one of the
Well,
things I get for.
I appreciate you providing the platform.
Probably time for one more.
This is short. You think about loved ones this time of year. This is called passings. Passings. I remember I walked in on Dad, dead in his bed, like an old crustacean on his back, unable to relax, curled up. His stiff, calcified hump kept him leaning forward, mouth open. A watering gardener dropped his hose, ran, rushed in, sheet covered him, apologized. Post-stroke coma mom. Oxygen nose tube breathe. Fetal position, lying on her right side. Digital meter dying. Head back, like the stroke snapped her spasmed shoulder and neck. Holding on, releasing. Now you look 50 years older in a few weeks. Liver and kidney cancer winning. Bony retreat into sheets. Painkiller word slur. Eyes dark, circle sunken, roll back, lids flutter. Weak, waking drift. Our little mid-20th century makeshift family. Over.
Wow. Well, that's a dark way to finish.
It was, wasn't it? I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Your descriptions just, they bring pictures. It's. Thank you so much for being here, Rex. All right.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. And I'll see you next month.
Sounds great. I look forward to that. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
All right. Well, listeners, wow, what an amazing experience listening to those poems. Just amazing. Our next guest of the evening is Frank Cordero, and I spoke with Frank earlier today, and we're going to play that momentarily as soon as my computer catches up. So, well, just give us a minute here. I think we're almost here. Let's see. That's probably not the one. Um, okay, where to go? Where to go? Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting pretty loud down in the reunion down there. Yeah, there's I don't know, 30 plus, maybe a little, and we're not the quietest of families, so it's sounding like a lot of fun there. I'm sorry to be missing it, but that's okay. So I am just trying to find where I put this thing. So that I can play it. And okay, well, it's not where it's supposed to be, so we're going to share it to myself again so I can get it. I apologize for the challenges here. It'll take just a second. Frank is one of the founding members of the Des Moines Catholic Worker, and he's a fascinating guest, and he had a very good message with today. So I am going to. Okay, I think I forgot to push something when I did this previously. Or not. Why is it not working? Okay. Well, let me try it a different way. It's live radio, folks. You know, sometimes we have these little challenges, and it's okay. So, all right, let me see if I can do this a different way. How about that? Okay. Yes, yeah, okay. This is always a challenge because I record it on my phone and then I have to get it back to where I can actually play it on the show. So, but I bet you really don't care to hear about that. So it's not a big deal. All right, here we go. We're going to find Frank Cordero, I think. Okay, I believe we have found it, and we're going to play it as soon as we have the opportunity, which should be right about now. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, folks.
Hello, Chuck.
Hi, Frank. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving right back at you.
All right.
So, are you doing the show today?
I am doing the show today, and can you be live tonight?
What time?
Let me see here.
Oh, I'm going to family thing tonight.
You are?
I can take it all. I mean,
Do you
get
want?
away or
Do you want to?
yeah.
Do you want to pre-record like right now?
Is that okay with you?
Sure, that'll be fine.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay. So, what's going on Thanksgiving Day at the Des Moines Catholic Worker?
Well, what's going on today is pretty much nothing. This is something we've been doing for a number of years. We don't cook anything on Thanksgiving, mindful that our guests have plenty of options. And people go a long way to get the food to as many people as they can. This is, which is a great thing. I wish every day was Thanksgiving. But for us, it's a rest day. However,
Right, sure.
We did our second year in a row coat giveaway effort on Tuesday. And had over 100 people gave them coats and then a Christmas bag of winter clothing and stuff. So it was a very good day for that. We were grateful for the Friends of the Catholic Worker. That's a new support group. That's a nonprofit, tax deductible entity that's been working with us for the last couple of years. I've spoken about them before, and it's a it's a dangerous pit, nonprofits. But so is as I think about passing this thing on, institutionalizing what should be institutionalized, the spirit and the love, and then the realization that when we say the Our Father, at the very end we say, "Deliver us from evil."
Yeah.
We say, "But deliver us from evil." Like above all, deliver us from evil. And the presumption between that desperate last plea is the knowledge that we are already ensconced by evil. We're in the midst of evil. We need to be delivered from. It's not a neutral thing, like, keep it away from us. No, keep it away from us. It's like, get us out of it. And I've been thinking about this whole privilege to be able to do hospitality. Privilege in a sense of a pecking order, like the sheer ownership of property is a mark of privilege. It's a part of the wealth, war, and empire world, and how to be delivered. And the Our Father suggests that we are disciples of the kingdom in the midst of an evil world. I'm not making up this evil world thing. I mean, I find it so very concrete in the sense that it's not an abstract devil personification thing. It's a systems thing that the people who wrote the Gospels were very, very aware of. It was the Roman Empire, which mimicked the Greeks and the Persians and the Babylonians and the Assyrians and the Egyptians before them. That's a very Jewish text. And so they're dealing with concrete stuff here. So I'm just kind of often plagued by my privileged position, but realizing, hey, buddy, even when Jesus met a rich young man, there was a place for them. Give it all away. Come follow me. I mean, there are routes to redemption for everybody. Yeah, even the bad guys. And the other thing I'm painful aware about Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is the best national holiday because it isn't owned by any nationality. It's not claimed by empire. I mean, it's a holiday and they're making money off it, blah, 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 of course. But the actual holiday, the actual word, Thanksgiving, and I live in for me, I'm very conscious of where I live. I think you have to find yourself in the global struggle for human survival. And I measure my life by my whole 70 years. I mean, everybody's going freakish about Trump, and I am too. But I was going. If I had knowledge, I should be going freakish about Eisenhower. I mean, they're all bad after World War II. And to say otherwise is to be caught up in the lie. And then just the really truth that I live on, literally. I live in Iowa, and we're known for our soil. We're farmers out here, and God gave us the soil, and it's rolling, beautiful, black, deep soil, 12 feet deep, basically. Blah, blah, blah. All that bullshit. And for all the different sad reasons, the Industrial Revolution finally reached here. We kicked the Indians off, killed the buffalo, and turned this whole scene into a corporate managed work farm. And the outcome in my lifetime is that we lost half of it. Half of the soil that I was brought up to believe is the richest, the greatest gift we have. I'm saying, so who the hell do we think we are?
I'm actually surprised it's only half. But
I'm only one generation. What the hell's that all about? Why do we get to piss off that? And then we don't leave it in any better condition. It's in an awful condition. It's dead. The soil we have out here is dead.
What I find fascinating, Frank, is you're embarrassed in a way to have the privilege, and yet to 90% of the world, you're living a life of service. You're living in poverty, and you don't have any privilege. And so it's really it's a very interesting juxtaposition of ideas there. Very very rich, I think, in concept.
We're telling totally different stories and committed to totally different truths.
Exactly.
But the if people saw it the way I saw it, then they would say, "Man, you're living a blessed and holy life." And but other people say, "Oh, I couldn't do that. You're just way ahead of us." No, hold on. Oh, that's just something. That's what Phil Berrigan said. This really good. He says there are two types of criticism, or reactions to his work. To his Plowshare's work that he just couldn't handle. It's the first folks who say, "You're a saint and I couldn't do that." And the other folks who say, "You're a glory hound and you just want the publicity." Both those are shallow, not good readings of what we're about. And most what I was going to say about Thanksgiving, about what I get to do. It's so much into the soil, and even though my grandfather was a truck farmer, and that was the last thing I wanted to do was be a farmer. It was so hard work, and I wanted to be a coach. And I spent my life trying to get off the farm, which every third generation immigrant tends to do post World War II scene. However, I'm still a person of the soil, and I have to reconcile what we did and are doing, and I find that the food we get is all made by corporate America. It's all oil-based. I mean, I'm not growing my own tomatoes. We went out and tried to grow enough tomatoes to feed the people we feed. The effort would just be different. I don't want to do that. I'm really running away from the farm, but exactly in the world of hospitality, by feeding the poor, feeding people who are hungry, with this kind of food is a redemptive thing for the food. I mean, it's shit food that's bringing the planet down. I get it. However, it's being placed in a place where human beings are hungry and need it. And it's given freely and it's given with love. That's what it means to redeem a food system in real time. Of course, I'm always, all right, I'm hopelessly Christian, and I always see things in the Beatitudes and the works of mercy.
Yeah.
Anything that bends that way, I really embrace.
Mhm.
And when we miss the mark, and we do all the time, and the love, again, I'm repeating myself in so many ways, but the love mark is just really that St. Paul. Love is this, love is that, love is never envious, love will always be patient, love will forgive. All that list of stuff, and then you're supposed to love your brothers and your sisters, your wife, your family, your cousins. When you put your enemy down there, it's not that big a deal, because I don't know any enemies. I mostly I know friends and people I care about, and it's hard to love them. Not saying, I just know the mark, and I don't always hit it. And I look for I try to be better. I try to be better. Yeah. Yeah, and the
Wow.
longer you live, to try to be better is something that should be a habit.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, actually, the longer we live, whatever we were doing has become a habit.
Too true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would rather. I'm so grateful I'm here at the doing this
Mm.
work, and it's natural.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I mean, it's just like I say, I've drunk the Kool-Aid. I believe the whole thing
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And it's and I'm God, I've got a letter from a guy who's my age who's been in the Catholic worker movement, but at the moment can't be involved in because of a health and situation. He's not involved in the Catholic work. He says, I really envy you. You get to do every day, live in a commune, working with the poor. It's you live in a blessed place. And I'm going, holy, he's right.
Yeah.
He really is right.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lorraine just chimed in and wished you a happy Thanksgiving. And
Frank, Chuck, thank you for doing this. You really are giving a gift to a number of us who are on this show and people who are listening to us. Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Well, thank you. And
it's good stuff.
All right. Thanks so much, Frank.
God bless.
All right. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Always great to talk to Frank Cordero, and now we're ready to move right on to our next guest, Philip Ferrugio, joining us from Port Orange, Florida. Happy Thanksgiving,
I think I'm hearing an echo, Chuck.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it right now, so just deal with it.
Okay. Today's Thanksgiving, I have a piece, I'm going to read it very short. Thanksgiving Day, not for us turkeys. You can overlook all the parades and football games this special Thursday every year. The only thing that matters is us turkeys, the feathered ones and we human ones. Because when all the chips fall, it is us that get our necks chopped off for someone else's dinner. The feathered ones get off this lifeline pretty quickly. We human turkeys have to slug it out to stay away from the grim butcher. The government man, or perhaps maniac is a fairer definition, decides to give major tax cuts to the super rich individuals and corporate donors. Meanwhile, us turkeys get tariffed to death at the local retailer every day. Back at the Oval Office, the government man wants to give $40 billion of our turkey tax dollars to his Goomba in Argentina, while cutting tens of millions of us gobbles off of Medicaid and Obamacare. Imagine if I now own 3 mansions, Barack would have stayed the course and pushed for Medicare for all. Anyway, guess what? Many of us suckers still follow the leader, right smack dab over that cliff of reason. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, side note. side note. Yeah, okay, my wife has terminal kids,
Well,
and I'm the caregiver, and we have a lady who on our block where we live who came to me actually yesterday and said, "Listen, I'm making a whole turkey dinner tomorrow, and I'm bringing you and your wife a whole meal."
oh,
And they came by at 1 o'clock, and they brought us a nice dinner: turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes, string beans. She baked a pumpkin pie for my wife. I mean, neighbors, right? I mean, there are
yes,
such really nice,
yes.
nice people out there.
hmm
Nice people.
There are.
And then I called up the guy who's the handyman for our complex,
Uh-huh.
and his name is Jose. He's a couple of years. He's actually about a year or two younger than you,
Mm.
and the guy is a great man. And I called him up just to thank him, for all the stuff he does for us. And he said, "Well, tomorrow I'm coming by with some ham." He said, "We had ham today, and you're going to have some. We had ham today, and you're going to have some ham
Wow.
tomorrow." So, Chuck, it really, it's such a nice thing when you have
Yes, it is.
people where you live,
If,
So, anyway,
and
just figured
people, for the most part, people really are pretty nice,
Yeah.
and they really do reach out to help each other, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
I
that.
agree.
That's such an important part of life, I think.
No, it's true. There's a lot of nice people out there, and then there's other people who don't know how to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We know people who know my wife and I, who know us for over 30 years from up north, and now they're dead, and they never once even they know about my wife's illness, and they
Yeah.
never once sent even a card,
They.
even a card. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
just you can't explain
I
it.
mean,
You really, yeah.
hey, I haven't sent you a card either. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm not.
Yeah,
I
but
don't send cards. I don't know.
that's true.
I,
That's
I
true.
mean,
You're right.
it's this modern world or whatever. Uh,
Well,
you know,
yeah. I mean,
it,
they know her text. They know her number. They
yeah,
know how to text her.
yeah.
So
I mean,
people could text you a note.
they could
if
text
they
her,
want to do it.
but
But that's the world we live in. It's
it
like
is.
you said.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every time you're going to reach out to somebody, you have to start. You think, well, should I be doing this? Are they gonna feel like I'm intruding? Am I gonna be overstepping the boundaries?
Yeah, yeah,
Because everybody's so damn worried about boundaries, and boundaries are good, but it's not good to totally for everybody to be totally isolated, to be afraid to say anything, whether it's nice or not. And it's I think that this is one of the symptoms of uh, the problem with our you know country and our world right now is that we are afraid to reach out to people. We've
Well, it's
become
not only
so.
that. It's not only that. It's not only that. Is that uh, because of this electronic age where everybody is either texting.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, there was a scene, a line from the movie Cool Hand Luke, Paul
Okay.
Newman movie back in
Mhm.
I think it was in the late '60s,
Yeah.
and the warden of the prison
Uh-huh.
farm,
What
he
we
says,
have
"What we're
here is a failure
yeah,"
to communicate.
says he said, "Lucas," "what we have here, Lucas, is a failure to communicate,"
Uh-huh.
and that's what we have.
Yep.
People don't communicate. No, really, they don't
I
communicate.
know it. It's
And
it's hard.
speaking is out. I mean, people don't speak to one another anymore.
I
They
know.
send texts, they
And
emails and stuff.
they're right. I mean, you if you call somebody without texting first, it's like, oh, that's rude.
You know what?
I
The
don't know.
company that I work, the company I work for up in Ohio, they don't even have access to even getting phone calls.
Uh-huh.
They actually got rid of it. They got
Yeah.
rid of it. If you want to reach them, you have to email them.
Uh,
It's unbelievable. I never heard such a thing. A company doesn't even allow people to communicate, verbally.
right.
It's crazy. It's
I
not
think
good. Not good.
no,
Not good.
but it is a very big characteristic of the way that people communicate or fail to these days.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was telling you once before, but I'll let the people listening who don't remember. I said it. I was sitting in a Japanese restaurant that I
mhm.
go to on a Sunday. Must have been right. I think it was right before COVID.
Okay.
And it's Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting by myself at a table, and there's a table here of two people.
Hmm.
There's a table here of two, couples, two couples.
Right.
I mean, then there's a table of three, a table of five, and I think maybe one more table. And I was observing because I was by myself.
Hmm.
Nobody talked to one another. They
Yeah.
all had the gadget in their hand, and they were just
Yeah.
in their gadgets,
That's so.
and nobody was talking.
I know that's so prevalent. I actually think in the last year or two that more people have started actually talking. I
Oh,
mean, what?
really?
Yeah. Uh, we recently moved, to a
Right.
different
Yeah.
part of Fort Lauderdale, and uh, so I've been checking out some of the local places, and I I have found that almost everywhere I go, people strike up a conversation, and
Really? Well, that's good.
that's I
That's
like
good.
that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm giving off a "Hey, I'm approachable, you can talk to me" vibe, or if so, well, that's good. I like it,
Listen,
but
listen. When you go into Publix supermarket, like where I
yeah,
live, Publix, right? I
hmm
go 3 times a week because my wife is ill, and I have to keep.
right,
And really, there's very few people I talk to. I mean, if you start a conversation, they'll talk to you back.
uh
But
huh,
people they'll just be polite and they'll just walk by each other. Excuse me.
hmm
But there's no people don't talk to one another.
yeah,
They don't talk. It's really sad. It really is
yeah.
sad. Sad.
So
I,
sometimes
I, yeah.
if you kind of break the ice a little bit,
Oh yeah, I
it
always
helps.
break the ice with
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I talk to people all the time, and it's nice. No, it's nice to have.
uh,
I think it's. I mean, when I'm walking down the aisles by myself, I usually go pretty quick, and
hmm
there's a lot of people, shopping. A lot of them by themselves, and
hmm
it's like this. And also, a, lo- not. I shouldn't say all of them. Some people are friendly or they have a smile, but some of them are very serious
Yeah.
and it's like like so you know what I do when I'm walking by people, I'll say you're under surveillance,
Oh
they
God.
look at I
Well,
say, yeah,
yeah,
you're
that's
under
gonna help.
surveillance right now. You're under surveillance. You're under surveillance. I mean, you gotta kid
that
around, Chuck. You gotta have a
my,
sense of humor, right?
that reminds me of something. One of my cousins did to another one recently. Let's see. Okay, so Charlie was going to get a ride with Bill, or ask Bill if he could give him a ride, and so he starts walking toward his car. Bill opened his trunk.
Opens his trunk.
Yeah, like get in there.
Or get in the back. Get in the back. Well, that's good. That's
I know. I
understanding.
mean,
Yeah.
that's like we all joke around with each other
Well, we have
and give
people.
each other a
I don't know
hard
how much
time.
time we have.
I love
How
that.
much time do we got? About a minute? How much time we got? A minute or two?
We actually have 4 minutes.
Okay. Well, I think I mentioned my wife likes all the neighborhood dogs, and she's
Yeah.
ill and
Uh
she
huh.
doesn't go out. She doesn't really go out unless I drive her to a doctor.
Yeah.
But she loves the neighborhood dogs, so I arrange for the dogs, the people who have the dogs that she likes.
Uh-huh.
I arranged for him to bring the dogs over, and she sits outside.
Oh.
And she gives them treats. Yeah, she has a bag of treats, and this one man has a Portuguese water dog that she fell in love with about 2 years ago, and he is so nice. He came by with the dog maybe when he knew she was ill, maybe a month and a half ago, and he brings a card from the dog.
Oh,
For the dog. And then he brings
nice.
a bouquet of flowers.
Uh-huh.
He brought a bouquet of flowers. Then the next time he comes, he brings a big dish with all chocolate chip cookies that his wife baked. He brings a whole thing of chocolate chip cookies. And then the last week he came again with his dog, and his wife came with him for the first time. We met the wife, and she brought another thing of chocolate chip cookies that she made. And they stood and we talked. You know, they're a really nice couple. Maybe he's a little older than me. You know, the wife might be a little. No, they're both older than me because they met.
Okay.
They met each other in high school.
Okay.
You know, they're from Texas, but they're nice people.
Well,
they're
that's
such
good.
nice people. I mean, and then the lady down the block, who my wife loves her dog, and she's the one that made us the turkey dinner today. You know, because she brings a dog over so my wife can give him treats. And there's other dogs. There's about 3 or 4 or 5 of them that I arranged for them to come by and see. My wife loves it.
I'm
she
so
goes down
glad
and she sits outside.
that some people are coming by like that. To
Now
show
here's the
some
funny thing:
support.
the boy cat. You know, we have 2 cats, boy
Okay.
and girl. The boy cat is very attached to my wife.
Okay.
Whenever she leaves the house, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like when she leaves. Because she never really left that much anyway.
Yeah.
Just to go to the store.
Right.
So the guy brings a Portuguese water dog. She's sitting outside the door on a chair, and my little boy cat goes in the window right to look out where she's sitting with the dog. And so he starts crying. Now the window's closed. I mean, the window's closed, but he's crying he's whining for her. He's whining for my wife. And he's going ooh, like that. So all of a sudden, the dog barks at him, and the Portuguese water dog. I never heard the dog bark. I never heard him bark. He's a sweetheart. You know, he's a big, beautiful dog, and he's barking at my cat. So my cat hissed at him. He hissed at him. My cat hissed at him. He hissed at him.
Well.
He saw her giving the dog treats, and he got upset. He got
jealous.
He's jealous. He's jealous. But they know that she's not well, and they stay up there with her all the time. They're up there with her day and night. Yeah, they go on to bed with her, and they love her so much. And meanwhile, what about me? I'm down here, and the boy doesn't. He used to go on my chest every night. He would lay on my chest.
Well, you're not sick.
I'm mentally ill. I'm definitely.
Well, aren't we all?
as my ex-father-in-law said, he said, "You're okay, but not in the head." You're okay.
All right, you're okay, but not in the head.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here, Philip, and my very best to your wife, and you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And listeners, talk to you on the other side of the station break.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message. Are you interested in the paranormal? Murder mystery? Real natural law? You enjoy interviews with amazing guests? Then join Crypt Rick every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
right here on Revolution Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crypt Lips, I've been thinking. Welcome to the crypt.
Do you want to really get to the roots of good health and stay strong for the storms ahead? Then listen to Bridget's Well, Healing with the Elements of Life. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Studio A, where stories are shared about traditional foods, Chinese medicine, and simple, healthy living skills. Listen to Bridget's Well, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio.
Welcome to Coffee Rants with Dan. I am the spiritual anarchist, Dan Arnold, your host. Tune in for what's really happening every Thursday. That's Thursday at 9 a.m. in Studio A on Revolution Radio. They keep us in fear to manipulate us. They want us ignorant so we're easier to enslave. They make us murder one another so they don't have to do it themselves. Only you can break their mind control by healing the contradictions within your belief systems that allow you to accept their lies in the first place. The time has come for us to remember our divinity, who we really are, to return to what we are meant to be, a service to others, to return to nature, and to reclaim our birthright, that which is freedom. The truth will sound belligerent because it is in direct opposition to lies. So get angry, because anger is sacred, and together we can unite and rise from this darkness. Humanity, assemble.
Mountain High Time, 2 hours of an organization to the madness, discussing the ever-changing dynamics of being both physically and mentally prepared for a plethora of possible outcomes to our future and present. A look into the latest technologies, new scientific discoveries, and how they might be used in connection to the human domain and controlling it, ancient cultures and places. Be warned. This is an opinionated look through headlines, guests that are not afraid to question the narrative, a little bit of crazy ramblings of a stoner conspiracy factist that pushes constitutional concepts. The place and the time are the same, another dimension we call Mountain High Time. Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain High Time, right here on Revolution.radio, where information never sleeps and truth breaks the spell.
The rooster has crowed out the opening bars of a new day. You've dragged yourself out of bed. You turn on your device. You want to know what's going on in the world. But you're hungry for a topical show that serves up those breakfast headlines just that little bit differently. Do you like your early morning news the way you like your eggs over easy? Served with slathers of salsa-like sass? Do you like those first headlines of the day to deliver a punch as powerful as that first cup of joe? Join Mitchell Bupp at his breakfast table for Revolution in the Morning, where he will digest, dissect, and dismantle those new day's national and global news headlines with razor-sharp relish. Find Mitchell here at revolution.radio every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern on Studio B.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Any commercial advertising you may hear in this program is of the sole discretion and benefit of the host. Revolution Radio does not endorse any commercial products, nor does it accept monetary compensation for on-air advertising of commercial products, nor will it ever. We are and shall remain 100% listener supported. Any product advertising on this program are considered used at higher risk, and Revolution Radio shall not be held liable for any claims or damages received from any product advertised within this program. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps. All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
Welcome back, everyone, to the New American Dream radio show. I have something very special for you right now. And this was pre-recorded a few days back, and I'm just going to play it. Welcome back, everyone, to the New American Dream radio show. We have something very special for you with our next guest, Michael Annis, and his two special guests. Wait till you hear this. Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, hi, Chuck. It's good to be back on the New American Dream. Tonight, I have with me two guests to do a special presentation for New American Dreamers. My guests, Gloria Vando and Annika Paris, have been professionally involved in the literary arts in a major capacity for many decades, particularly in the area of modern poetics and especially the celebration of women writers. Gloria, publisher and editor of Helicon 9, was a transforming advocate and progressive force in presenting what I consider to be the single greatest women's literary magazine of the last 100 years, if not ever, which might sound like a hollow boast, but if one weighs the achievements of her and her publishing house through Helicon 9, then researches the web for comparison, one will find, in my conviction, to be accurate and unbiased. So the reason I have brought Gloria and Annika, her daughter and co-editor, on the show tonight is because of the newest anthology from Helicon 9 titled In the Black, in the Red, with the subtitle Inscription, Poems of Profit and Loss, which indicates that these poems are not just about the current, monetary currency, but about the currency socially and as simply as human beings and human experience in the realm of profit and loss. So the three of us will present as many as 9 selections from this anthology, women and men poets both, several of whom are United States Poet Laureates and major prize winners. I also have enjoyed the honor of being included in this anthology and will share my own work published within it during next December's show. I will turn over the presentation of this anthology on the New American Dream now to Gloria Vando.
Oh, hello, and thank you for inviting us. This is such a pleasure. Yeah, In the Black and the Red was an idea of a friend of mine, Phil Miller, and he passed away. And it took us several years to bring it back. And my daughter, Annika, and I worked on it together. And I'm so happy with it. I think it's a terrific book. But it was an important thing to do at the time because of the financial crisis that we were going through. And, that sort of thing. Now, Annika, you have anything to say?
Oh my God, we have 196 contributors in this anthology. It's absolutely beautiful. We have, as Michael said, poet laureates, and we also have beautiful, colorful artwork throughout the book. And I do have to have a shout out to Tim Barnhart, who is a designer of this book, but also designed all of Helicon 9's 50 books over the past 48 years, since 1977 to present day.
And Michael Annis, yes, he did the typesetting for the first 10 years or more.
Is that when you sat there and put like little,
yes,
every single little letter? We're so spoiled now. It's all done modern wise, right? Quick edits. And Mom, a very funny story about, she woke up in the middle of the night remembering that something was wrong on a page and ran to the printer to stop the printing. And she was right. She had a dream that there was a when you talk about the literary world. But just real quickly, what happened was, unfortunately, Phil Miller passed away. And for years, Mom kept saying, I've got to get In the Black and the Red. I've got to get it. I've got to get it. And finally, I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And so I picked up the reins with her. And we reached back out to all the authors and Took us a good solid year to put it together, but it is so beautiful, and we are so proud, and we're so happy to have you in it, Michael.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
thank you so much for doing this, highlighting poetry.
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, this is a major accomplishment as far as I'm concerned, as all of Gloria's work throughout these last 48 or how many years they've been. Just
48.
amazing. How many?
48.
Yes, 48. And it's been amazing what you have done. It's been, as far as I'm concerned.
With your help, thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, I come in handy.
You know, you haven't done anything alone. You know, we had a whole
Just
group
feed me.
of volunteer editors and readers. And
That's true. It is definitely a collective.
yes.
Yes, it is. Okay. So we go back a long way. We used to put together Helicon 9 magazine in my basement. We would do all-nighters. We would, you know, kind of get high on the idea that we were leaving, with Tim Barnhart, leaving literary legacy behind us. And it has been stunning. People should go and look up Helicon 9 magazines, the anthologies, because each one is so well done, spectacular. Okay, and often thematic. You know, there's a Southern women writers issue and so on. So, just for an example. So I think we should start with a presentation of the selections. These are just samples. Like, as Annika said, there are 196 contributors, and we're only going to maybe get through 9 of the poems tonight. And I'm going to start with Dana Gioia, and I want to read a little bit about biographically about Dana Gioia before I introduce his poem. Dana Gioia is an internationally acclaimed poet and writer, former California Poet Laureate, and chairman of the National Endowment for the Arts. He has published 5 full-length collections of verse, most recently 99 Poems New and Selected in 2016, which won the Poets Prize as the best new book of the year. His third collection, Interrogations at Noon in 2001, was awarded the American Book Award. Dana Gioia, money. Money is a kind of poetry, Wallace Stevens. Money, the long green, cash, stash, rhino, jack, or just plain no. Chalk it up, fork it over, shell it out. Watch it burn holes in your pocket. To be made of it, to have it, to burn. Greenbacks, double eagles, megabuck, and Ginny Max. It greases the palm, feathers a nest, holds heads above water, makes both ends meet. Money breeds money, gathering interest, compounding daily, always in circulation. Money, you don't know where it's been, but you put it where your mouth is, and it talks. Gloria, I shall introduce Gloria, own poem. A little bit of biographical information about Gloria, which we have not yet covered. Gloria Vando's books and poems have won numerous awards, including the Poetry Society of America's D. Castanella Award, Latino Literary Hall of Fame's Best Poetry Book of the Year, and others. She's founding publisher editor of Helicon 9, which received the Kansas Governor's Arts Award, a contributing editor to the North American Review, serves on the boards of the Venice Arts Council and Beyond Baroque in Los Angeles. In 2025, her poem was included in NASA's Lunar Codex mission, a time capsule, and sent to the moon. Gloria Van.
Thank you, Michael. My poem. I'm going to read my poem, The F Word. The notices had come 3 weeks earlier, spilling their venom across the kitchen table and the ugly sign posted on the lawn. But Marta could not get herself to respond, as if by putting off knowing what she knew, putting off doing what she knew she had to do, her life would continue as normal. Tonight, she tucks in the kids, avoiding the thought that this is their last night in this house, this bed, maybe even with this parent, as she briefly contemplates blowing out her brains. Mike goes from room to room, caressing the cabinets he constructed, the wallpaper he hung in the hall, stooping to touch the tiles he installed on the kitchen floor and the patio. He feels as if he were sleepwalking, that he will awaken with the sun, warming him through the open window. The children running in, as always, jumping on the bed, laughing. At dawn, when they least expected, though they've been dreading it for the past 24 hours, 4 men, burly, resolute, break down the front door yelling, "Everybody, up, now, move!" Before they can take a deep breath, the men push them out of the house. Their stained mattresses, sofa, the crib, shoes, pots and pans, dishes, underwear, baby photos, the contents of their lives, strewn on the lawn of the world. The men shackle the door, post a foreclosure sign in the grass, and drive away. The baby cries. Mike hides his head in his hands, his army medals glinting in the pink light. Magda, the oldest, leans against him, while her brother sits on the grass playing with his skates. Marta looks around, stunned. Maybe they should have sought help, but from whom and where to go? Neighbors watch them through half-closed blinds, afraid. And all around them, the greedy hordes in wait. I'm supposed to snap.
Thank you, Gloria. And the next presentation is Annika Paris. Little biographical information here. Annika Paris is an award-winning songwriter, poet, and author. Her collection, Woven Voices, out from Skate Press, is a multi-generation collaboration with her mother and grandmother, nominated for the International Latin Poetry Award. Her poems have appeared in Poetic Voices Without Borders, Extreme, The Mom Egg, Ghost Anthology, Whirly Bird Anthology of Kansas City Poets, and more. In 2025, she was honored to have her poem included in NASA's Lunar Codex mission on a time capsule sent to the moon. With 2 music education books published by Hal Leonard, she teaches songwriting, lyric writing, and stage performance at UCLA Extension's Creative Arts Program and through the Grammy Education Program. Annika Paris.
Thank you. I'm going to read a poem of mine called Borderline. Puerto Nuevo, or Newport in English, is 40 miles from the border of Mexico. It is a Saturday and there's a slight overcast on our venture. "Quieren comida?" they ask, courting us with brown sugar smiles and honey-glazed eyes. Men like paparazzi perched outside their restaurants, begging to cook us a meal, pleading to serve us anything as we glittered their muddy streets. The salty air hangs heavy on my conscience, on the roof of this restaurant, on the rim of my margarita, blended in chartreuse. We sit overlooking the village and sing to the mariachi band. La cucaracha, yo no puedo caminar. And all 12 of them playing guitars, horns, and violins are bursting at the seams of indigo blue, wearing shiny sombreros in sequenced desperation. I trace the sound with the tips of my fingers and lose myself for a moment. But on the brim of our echo, I can't help noticing across the street a woman on the roof of a tenement that's burnt to a seaweed crisp, its coffee-stained sheets unable to hide the naked rooms inside. This building, slightly sagging to the left, is barely held together with wire hangers and pouts over the junked cars climbing its doorway like spiders. And amidst all this American novelty and facade of celebration, the woman washes her family's clothes, scrubs each shirt, each pair of pants, each mud-stained sock, unable to wrench out their future. Almuerzos, langostas deliciosa para todas las señoritas hermosas, the owner says, as he unfolds a blanket of food, his staff catering to us like royalty, filling our cups till they overflow, basting our plates with homemade salsa, lobster and melted butter, warm corn tortillas individually wrapped. The mariachi band is still playing. My friends are laughing and clapping in rhythm. Even the sun decides to finally visit, but I can't eat.
Oh, thank you, Monica. That was wonderful. Beautiful piece. Okay, I'm going to present the work of Philip Appelman. Little biographical information first. Philip Appelman was one of the great poet intellectuals, a novelist, essayist, considered an expert on both Darwin and Malthus, and a champion of critical thinking and rights of expression. His final poetry collection was Perfidious Problem. He retired as professor emeritus from the University of Indiana and had a long and happy marriage to the playwright Margie Appelman. Philip Appelman. It begins with a quote. Parable of the talents. I should have received mine own with interest. Matthew 25:27. The love of money is the root, the branch, the flower. So why don't we ever write poems about money? Is it because we're just too good for this world, counting our delicate heartbeats out at the edge of everyone else's reality? Our sensitive psyche never fed by the fed, our Tao out of sync with the Tao. In the midst of rallies, all of us bearish on bulls? Or is it because they've already writing their own poems, those canny can-do capitalists, brokers and bankers, all busily locking in yields, pumping new blood into partnerships, watching the market peak, bottom out, sheltering windfalls, letting their profits run, cutting their losses, beefing up capital, funneling cash into balanced portfolios? Down here in the daffodils, who's counting? Could we ever achieve an emotional high at a boosted frame rate? Or could we go broke again and convince our downside lovers it was only a negative cash flow? No poems except in passion. The brokers keep asking, is her smile worth 3 points up front? Will the Bougainvillea turn a profit this quarter? Are those gentle fingertips economically viable? And the sonnets keep whispering, poets, remember where your treasure is. There will your songs be also. Gloria.
Yes.
Judy Ray.
Judy Ray. Judy Ray's books include From Place to Place, personal essays by Whirlybird Press, To Fly Without Wings, poems, Helicon 9 editions. Originally from England, she has traveled widely. In Kansas City, she was associate editor of New Letters, and then the first executive director of the Writer's Place. She and her late poet husband, David Ray, now live in Tucson, Arizona. Well, he doesn't, but they moved there. And her poem is called Status by Judy Ray. He's honed his selling skills to move around bonds and stocks, making conservative savers riskily rich. From his high-rise stockbroker's desk or behind the wheel of a new Corvette, he revels in financial frenzy. At lavish parties with froth of alcohol and daring dash of drugs, he basks in the shiny patina of his life. Then he seeks out the cocaine where the party is single-minded, never begun, never ending. And so long as plentiful pay fills his pocket, he's welcome. For a while, he sells himself on every rebound until his days of disappearance become weeks and crack jackhammers the cogs of his brain. He exists among the riskily poor, trying to escape from a deal gone wrong. He crashes a stolen bicycle with a crooked wheel, the Corvette and all else long gone, and lies by a dumpster in a high-rise shadow. There's no way out unless he can revive and hone those remarkable marketing skills to sell himself a life.
Wow.
Annika.
I'm going to do Florence Weinberger, a dear
Indeed you are.
dear friend and one of my favorite poets in the book. Florence Weinberger is the author of 6 published collections of poetry. Most recently, These Days of Simple Mooring is the winner of the Blue Light Book Award. 6 times nominated for a pushcart, her poetry has appeared in literary magazines including Nimrod, Poetry East, Rattle, Baltimore Review, Calyx, The River Styx, December, North American Review, the Los Angeles Review, Shenandoah, and numerous anthologies. And this poem is called He Left Me Hundreds. He left me hundreds of hundreds in bundles of 10, sectioned off with paper clips. I stuck them deep into the toe of an old sock, which I then secreted in a pocket, his old sock, of which I wrote rueful poetry about his thrift, his big hunger, his inability to gain weight. But I digress. The cash is still rolled up, what little's left. 7 years since his death, crisis biting it down, one at a time to a tight cigarette, a leafy roof, a grandchild's shoes. I didn't know cash could fade in the dark, but the rust around the clips is no surprise. Some nights I fret the feds will call them all in. Hundreds hidden in the musty cupboards, forgotten boxes. They'll want to shred them, issue new ones. They'll want to know where I've been keeping this stash. Or even worse, I'll die before it's spent, and my kids will gather my clothes for goodwill and never poke around in the pockets, knowing I keep crumpled tissues, movie stubs. Maybe not so bad a denouement, his hundreds spinning out like stars into an expanding universe, ransoming the wretched at the edge of hell. The way his life got saved by American soldiers unlocking the gates of the death camp. The way he tried to salvage mine. Wow.
Okay, so before I present the work of Richard Wilbur, one of our great modern poets, I think it behooves us if I give the New American Dream listeners a way to get a hold of a copy of this anthology. You can get it at itascabooks.com. I'm going to spell that for you. itascabooks.com. That's itascabooks.com. And again, 196 contributors, poets, lyricists, full color art, mixed media, photography, cartoons, lithographs, and the significance shouldn't be understated about the quality of the work that you're going to find in this book. For an example here, Richard Wilbur, and I'm going to give a little bit of a very, very short biographical information about Richard Wilbur, since it's much, much longer than this. Richard Wilbur had a distinguished 60-year career. He has written 17 collections of poetry, 4 children's books, numerous works in prose and translations, and lyrics. He served as Poet Laureate of the United States, 1987 and 1988, and his many other honors include National Book Award, 2 Pulitzer Prizes, and the Bollingen Prize. His collected poems, 1943 to 2004, was published by Harcourt. Richard Wilbur. Matthew 8:28. Rabbi, we Gadarenes are not ascetics. We are fond of wealth and possession. Love, as you call it, we obviate by means of the planned release of aggressions. We have deep faith in prosperity. Soon, it is hoped, we will reach our full potential. In the light of our gross product, the practice of charity is palpably non-essential. It is true that we go insane, that for no good reason we are possessed by devils, that we suffer despite the amenities which obtain at all but the lowest levels. We shall not, however, resign our trust in the high heaped table and the full trunk. If you cannot hear us without destroying our swine, we had rather you shoved off. Richard Wilbur.
Wow.
Gloria, Marilyn Crystal.
Yes. And Marilyn Crystal has published 4 short story collections, along with 7 collections of poetry. Her work has appeared in The Atlantic, The Nation, the Pushcart Prize Anthology, Best American Short Stories, and O. Henry Prize Stories. Her books have won the Cleveland State Poetry Prize and Forward Magazine's Book of the Year Bronze Medal. She has taught in China, volunteered as an unarmed bodyguard for Peace Brigade International in Sri Lanka, and at Mother Teresa's Kalighat home in Calcutta. Wow. Okay, Marilyn's Money Has No Mouth. I'm another dollar bill, an old one and dirty. So many hands have handed me on. God doesn't want me. I'm rich. I can buy you anything you want. You want a yacht? I'll buy you a yacht. Now you've got a yacht. So what? Money is obesity. Go to the gym, run a mile while you watch the hungry go hungry. In the city of no money, their mouths are empty. It is time to forget your body. Go to that city. Go hungry. The mouth empty is where God is.
Awesome. Awesome piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Annika will present the work of Eve Ott.
Eve Ott was a vibrant Kansas City writer. Her poetry and fiction have appeared in literary journals and anthologies. Her collections include Album from the Silent Generation, Aldrich Press, On the Jefferson Line, Prolific Press, and Proof of the Sun, Carencia Press. She taught composition at Emporia State University and was a member of the Riverfront Reading Series and the Writers' Place Program Committee. She passed away in 2024, so this is
Good friend.
Eve Ott. It's a revolution, not of the poor rising up to demand at least a share of the wealth of this land, but of the wealthy seeking more for themselves and less for others. It's a revolution, not of non-European immigrants in different shades of brown, professing different religions and wearing different clothing, but of those who profess to be Christian, whose men wear neckties and women necklines that plunge. Oh, and they are white, of course, white. It's a revolution, not of those working for a more just world, striving for a more peaceful world, hoping to preserve a world for children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren to grow old in, but of those who continue to spew toxins into the air we breathe, pollute the water we drink, while denying the results of their actions. It is a revolution of those who have learned the language of revolution well. So well that the truly disadvantaged are willing to die on the front lines of a revolution that is not theirs. Nonetheless, it is a revolution and it is being televised. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So Chuck, that is all we really have prepared for tonight. It would be nice to be, I would hope that you'd be able to somehow post this on how to buy this anthology on your Facebook page, on the New American Dream Facebook page, or on the website itself.
I will certainly plan on doing that, Michael, and I really enjoyed listening to all of these poems. It was really quite fascinating. You know, Richard Wilbur was a professor at Wesleyan when I was there.
Oh my God,
Oh,
how
wow.
wonderful.
How lucky are you?
Anyway, thank you all so much for this. I look forward to talking again next month for some more.
Thank you so much, Doug.
We really appreciate
And
it.
thank you, Michael, for inviting us.
Well, thank you, Gloria, and thank you, Annika, for actually being on the air with me and sharing this time. This is really special. This is very, very special for me to have you, both of you on the air with me. This is the first, Gloria, this is the first electronic poetry reading that we've done together.
That's right.
All right then.
You got the first one, Chuck.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you all so much, and that maybe you can participate in one of my poetry spectaculars that I do on Fifth Thursdays. I'll be in touch about that.
That'd be wonderful. Please let us know. We'd love to.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, again, thank you all so much, and good night.
Good
All
night.
right.
Good night, Michael. Good night, Chuck.
Good night, everybody. Wonderful show. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was quite a presentation from Michael Annis and his two guests, and I really appreciate having them on the show. And we have one more guest, one of my favorites, Karen Katoski. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Thanks for having me. And can you hear me good? Is it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. So, it's Thanksgiving, and I always have the honor of being on the Thanksgiving show. It seems like, and so another Thanksgiving has passed, and it's the normal things that you think about, gratitude and family, of course. And as I'm listening to the tail end of some of the poem, prior to, and the emphasis on, I liked what was said there about, where people can live their lives, our grandparents and great grandparents and children can all live, which is something very antithetical to the government and to the state. And so when I hear a poem like that, and I hear, soldiers serving in other people's revolutions, willingly doing it, unknowingly doing it.
Yeah.
And so I blame the state. There's other things to blame, but in my book, I agree with the poem, and I point the finger directly at the state, the government, and this is the elite corporate state that I'm talking about, because the elite corporate state is what we have to address. It's the whole thing. But so what I wanted to talk about tonight, beyond just the family, because I think it always is going to come down to family and community. If we want to make change, it starts there, it ends there, really. The rest of this stuff is almost cosmetic in a lot of ways, even though it's cosmetic, but it can also kill us. So it's like a dangerous cosmetic.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But we have a couple of things this week that happened, but one of them is the Marjorie Taylor Greene resignation, and of course some of the stuff she did right before her resignation to really enrage or put Donald Trump into one of his rages. I mean, Donald Trump has many rages and many emotions, and he really did not like. He hasn't liked what Thomas Massie has done, and he certainly didn't like what Marjorie Taylor Greene did. And of course, they worked with across the boldly, both those guys, particularly Massie, but also Greene. But they worked across the aisle on principle, and they were fought by the Republican Party, probably some of the Democratic Party, who is implicated. The topic being the Epstein file release, but really it's an issue of transparency and law and order, or whatever you want to call it, right and wrong. And he stuck to his guns, Massie did, and he by his very example of a very simple but unbending fight, he ended up not just causing the president to completely reverse himself in what for any other person would have been humiliating, but of course Donald Trump does not know humiliation. He does not recognize humiliation. It's not part of his repertoire. But 100% of the Congress, except for one guy from Oklahoma, I don't know, some dude who thought, well, I love Israel as much as I love my wife, or I love my daughter and my wife the same, something like that, some stupid reason to try to justify his own personal immorality. But at least the fight was won in a very public way. And it was a fight of principle. It was an ethical fight. And it's one also that the American people are united on. I don't think there's any, like, of all the discussions that happened, and maybe didn't happen, but maybe people were thinking about it at their Thanksgiving table. If the Epstein files came up, I think you would find that all the family members that would fight over everything else would agree on that. They would agree that if the elites are committing crimes on behest and in service to our government, our intelligence agencies, and other governments and other intelligence agencies for the purpose of making money, making war, abusing children on the side, whatever it is that their purpose was, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. And you know, it's funny because the British actually, and I think this was in response to Massey's deliverance of the message, a singular message that we don't like this. Not that it's the most important thing in the world, but the fact that on principle he fought and people joined him instead of smothering him, or you know, and that's what Trump wanted to do. Trump wants him gone. But Massey won, Green won, all of Congress won when they voted for this. At least they look good for most of the rest of them. Most of them are just scared, but they look good. They stood on the right side for a moment, and that was a good thing. But you know, the Brits, after this happened, after they saw the writing on the wall, you know, they took away the kingly or the princely responsibilities and titles for one of the guys who was an abuser. You know, Prince, the brother of the king. I forget his name. Not Prince Charles. Charles is Andrew. Prince Andrew. So they stripped him of a few things. Now it's all superficial, but the good that Massey and also the Democrat who stood with him, and I can't remember his name, both of them together did this. Both of them are not leading senior congressmen of their parties either, but they stood for the right thing, and they actually got that. They made Britain do something. I mean, this is the power of doing something right or standing for something you believe in with a moral bent, you know. And when I say moral, again, like the poem pointed out, you know, not a hypocritical Christian thing, not a hypocritical religious thing, but what is right and wrong, very clear and simple. They stood together with it, and they had great power that went across the oceans. Anyway, very impressive. But of course, now what we have is Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning, which it's, you know, and she says she's had death threats, which she probably has had. And it speaks to the state. It speaks to the nature of who we're governed by. And it doesn't matter who you vote for. I think all of MAGA realizes, if they didn't realize it the first term that Trump had, when he put in all kinds of neocons and ran all kinds of neocon foreign policy, these were people, you know, like Pompeo and Bolton. He put in his administration people who had clearly said what they stood for, clearly despised Trump. But Trump's like, well, it's a good name. They know what they're doing. I'll bring them in. Of course, we should have known then. People that supported Trump or believed in MAGA as a thing that Trump believed in. No, we should have learned the first time. Did not learn. We're even more optimistic the second time, and it didn't take, you know, I mean, how many wars and bombings and lies and crazy things. And of course, that's his resistance, his reversal on the Epstein stuff. You know, it really shows you that it doesn't matter. You're voting, your vote really doesn't matter. You can vote for this guy and that guy. You're going to get the same guy. And there's a quote, I've mentioned it here before. It's from Tom Woods, who is a speaker and a Austrian economist and all that. But Tom Woods has a quote. He said, "No matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain." And that's the story of the past 45 years, really, and maybe longer. But anyway, so voting isn't the issue, but the state is not our friend. The state, and I say the state, it's always the state, but people say, oh, but the government can do good things. Well, we don't have that kind of government that can do good things. We have a crony capitalist elite government run by billionaires, and they're globalized, and the globalization aspect of it is something that really is exposing itself in part through Epstein. That's just one little example, but Trump has had his fingers in every pot that he can possibly think about around the world. Think of his 7 or his 8 ended wars, which none of them were really his to end, and he didn't end them. I mean, some of them are his to end. Obviously, we're supporting Gaza. We're making Gaza possible. He could have ended that one the first day. Chose not to. He's continued to have been part of that genocide, which of course, that's all of us, because we have to pay taxes against our will to pay that genocide. So we're going to all go to hell for that. But anyway, Trump doesn't care about it. But he considers that his ceasefire is an ending of Gaza, which of course, totally stupid. I don't know what they're doing in Ukraine, but that doesn't look likely to end. Trump's not really doing much with that. In fact, nothing that he's done. But where is all these things being done? Not in the United States, around the world. So I think Trump really does speak. He's a good icon for the state, because the state lies about everything and has its fingers in everybody else's business. And it doesn't take care of things at home. And all people in all parties, I don't care if you're green, libertarian, right, left, independent, I don't vote. I don't care what category that you fall into, or any other party. Everybody has to agree, I think, and they in their heart, they realize that the government does not work for them. It's not responsible to them. It does not share their morality. It doesn't share their ethics. All it does is see us as somebody, a body or a entity to be used for our productive power, to whatever limited ability that productive power, whatever that is, to monetize us, to surveil us and control us, and to propagandize us. This is what it does. And so I will always be anti-state, and I am a libertarian, and I don't think you can fix a state. Now, and this is very bad, because on Thanksgiving, we're supposed to count our blessings. And the blessings are family, and the fact that I hope a few people, more people than normal on an evening, got to eat today. This is what I hope the success was. And that people have healed some of the damage done to their families' connectivity that was COVID did, because COVID destroyed. And I don't want to talk about COVID, but we have to in some ways. But COVID was a government project, not so much COVID. It clearly is showing itself to be a government project, but that's just on the biological side. But the reaction to COVID, what the state mandated and how it interfered with the lives and businesses and education of the people, how it ostracized certain people for saying the wrong thing, promoted other people for giving the state's message, regardless of whether it was substantiated by fact or not, but calling it fact and calling everybody else a liar. It's almost like a game that was being played to see how far the people could be pushed around, shoved around, hijacked, and made fearful. And I think they were most successful in making people fearful, because even the bravest of people, I think, would have to admit that they were made a little bit fearful. And the government did that. The state did that. And why did they do it? Not to keep us safe. They didn't keep us safe. The stuff they mandated actually hurt a lot of people. But it wasn't to keep us safe. It was to keep us controlled and to keep us focused on something other than where the big problems are coming from. Well, anyway, we kind of know this, but I'm an enemy of the state, and I hope that we'll all recognize that we are, because that's a revolution that we need to have. And a lot of people think like it's really, how are you going to go up against the state? How are you going to do a revolution? Well, you know what? There's a lot of ways to do revolution. It starts with the individual, and you have to be a little bit courageous. And so what I like to, and I'm not particularly courageous, but I think it's a skill set rather than a gift. I think it's something we can develop, and it can show up in a lot of different ways. Little kids who are defiant, or little kids who question things like why, and that's like the 4-year-old why, like the common, term. But this is how you become brave. You ask questions. You listen to the answers and ask more questions after you hear those answers. You engage, you go a little bit further, you go to the edge and you look over the edge, and maybe you jump, maybe you don't, but you go there. You don't just sit quietly. And so we do have to practice this to develop courage and bravery, and that's what's going to be needed for what's coming. And of course, obviously, I'm going to come back to it again. It's Thanksgiving, but even if it wasn't, family, connections, relationships, this is where the strength has to be developed, because the government cannot simulate that. It cannot build that for it. So, you know, the loyalty amongst the government and amongst the elites is very shallow. It's very shallow. And, you know, when they say stuff like rats jumping from a sinking ship, they're not really talking about a whole country. They're talking about the government. They're talking about the insiders, the elites, the people that were doing secret and dirty and nasty things to everybody else. We're taking advantage. Those are the rats we're talking about. They jump, and they don't do it out of courage. They do it out of desperation. So anyway, we will win. The people will win in the end. But you got to be a little bit brave, and you got to think about it. We should. And I think when I listen to the poems of, and I recognize kind of a leftward ideology, or what we would call, and we might label it that way. And I go, I agree with that, but I agree with what they're saying. But I point the finger at the state, and I think we have to kill it and destroy it, what we have. And then if we want to make a new state, we need to be very, very careful and keep it small, and don't have a big military, because that big military we have, well, ours isn't very effective nowadays. It's very expensive. It's effective at making money for certain sectors, but it's not very effective.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, I have to tell you, I was grading papers, or these quizzes for a government class that I teach just tonight, and I have a question about I have them look at Eisenhower's farewell speech, 1961, because he talks about the military-industrial complex. But then I also, after that, I have them go back to 1937, I think it is, 35, and to read Smedley Butler's War as a Racket, because, you know, both those guys were generals. One was a Marine, and of course, Eisenhower was a five-star. I think he was five-star Army. Anyway, and they compare and contrast, and some of them have things in there about, well, they don't they're not prepared. A lot of them are high school kids. They're not prepared really to critique this stuff. A lot of them do a really good job, which is why I'm excited. I mean, I think it's wonderful. Some of them don't, but some of them say things like, we have the most powerful military in the world, and we should definitely make sure it stays powerful. And they think that,
right,
but we don't. And I'll tell you, in the example I gave one of them tonight, and I think it's a great example because it's current and we've seen it. You know, when Israel asked us to save their butts in June with the so-called 12-day war, and they demanded that we do something about Iran because they were basically had overcome the Iron Dome and the other two layers of air defense that Israel has, very expensive layers of air defense, but they were obliterated basically by day 5, I think it was 5 or 6. And so they called Trump, and Trump, of course, will do anything Israel asks, just like all American presidents will do anything Israel asks, except for the one they shot. And that was in 1963. So just even last week of 1963, last week. Yeah, really recently. This is an anniversary. Yeah. 63 years. Anyway, the I lost my train of thought. There's now I got to recapture it. Oh, strong military. But the example that's really easy to think, 12-day war, we go in day 6, day 7, whatever. We bomb these underground military sites, nuclear sites that we think Iran has. And we do it with 6 or 7, I forget how many B-2 bombers it was. And they're carrying bunker buster bombs. And I think they dropped 14 total, 14. Okay, and we go, oh, great, that's so powerful. And then Trump says, the war's over, peace is breaking out, we destroyed it, we obliterated it. All that stuff was a lie, but it doesn't matter. Most people saw through that. But the point we should remember is 1/3 of our entire inventory of bunker buster bombs, which I assume might be useful, but they're really not. Anyway, we're very proud of our bunker buster bombs. We blew 1/3 of them in one night at a cost of $1 billion for that 23-hour flight to and from, air refueling, fighter jet escorts, and of course a few missiles shot from submarines in the Arabian Ocean. So $1 billion one night, 14 bombs. That was a third of our entire capability and $1 billion out of that budget that we have. And what happened? Well, Trump said, oh, it was obliterated. Well, of course it wasn't obliterated. And our own intelligence reminded him of that. He didn't like to hear it. So it was all pointless. But when if you have the biggest, best, most powerful military in the world, that's not a sign of it, that you would blow a third of a certain mission type with all that money. You wouldn't do it. It doesn't make any sense. But you can pick any example that you want. Our military is not strong, but the people that make money from the military, they are very strong. They're very, those guys, those companies,
Well,
those, politicians getting.
They've got a great market going.
That's right. They got a great market deal going, and it's the very same people, a lot of them, that support never ending the wars, including I hate to talk about Gaza, but look at the money we're funding Gaza. It's our weapons they're dropping. It's our money and technology and all this. So this is what the state does. If you ask the average American, no, they don't want to do it. In fact, I wrote the article that I wrote, the essay or whatever that I wrote earlier this week. I pointed out, or maybe it was last week, I pointed out, and I hadn't even thought of this. Okay, so the MAGA group, let's say 51% of the people voted for Trump, of the voters. This is just the voters. Obviously, there's non-voters and people that voted for Kamala and any third parties. But 51%, let's say, voted for Trump. And they voted for Trump because he promised non-intervention to end the wars. In fact, he specifically blamed Biden for all the wars and he was going to end them. And that was a message people responded to. But also the 49 or the 50% that voted for someone other than Trump, likewise, did not want to fight or extend any of these wars. So overwhelmingly, the majority of the people don't buy into the state's foreign policy agenda. I wouldn't think most of them buy into its domestic agenda either. I think that's very clear if you look at any domestic news topic. I don't think Washington is particularly popular in any city, and for that matter, any rural area today. Look what he's doing with it. His agricultural policy for the rural places is just as bad as his ICE policy is for the urban areas. That it's just no good. So we, the people, are in agreement, not just on Thanksgiving, agreement on all the days. And
if only we would realize it and actually talk to each other and do something. Oh, wow.
That's exactly right. And that's why the response to COVID entailed dividing people and limiting people's ability to communicate and discuss and question, because that's the most dangerous thing you can do. That's the bravest thing you can do, is to talk to other people and question everything. And even if, it's like fake it till you make it. Even if you feel scared and you don't feel brave and you really don't want to go out there and do things, all you got to do is ask a few questions. Just do this. This is how you beat tyranny, honestly. And I don't think we all have to be shot by an army in order to win a revolution. I think the revolution.
I'd rather not have that happen, but
yeah. Anyway, I'm all for revolution. I'm all for it. I'm part of it.
Well, thank you. This was a great way to close out the show tonight, and it's been a wonderful Thanksgiving show. And thank you, Karen, and thank you, listeners, for being here with me. I hope you'll be back next week and every week right here on the New American Dream Radio Show. So we are signing off now. Thanks to Revolution Radio. All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay. See you.
All right. That was great. Thanks to my wonderful guests. That's what makes this show work.